we are gearing up for our summer 2023 screening, which is going to be on July 16th at the beautiful, historic Clinton Street Theater. And today I'm talking with one of our participating filmmakers, Belton, who is the writer and director of America's Dating Game. Belton, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Let's jump right in. What inspired you to make America's Dating Game?
So I've for the past few years, I've had a very amateur interest in how social media has basically changed society, affected the way we act, the way businesses and industries run. So that was just something I always just kept on my mind and enjoyed reading into. And so at some point, I got the idea of a live action version of Fuck Mary Kill, thinking it would be a funny sketch. And as I was writing it, I kind of had the internet aspect in my head because Fuck Mary Kill really it's a game a lot of people have played, but only works because it's hypothetical. And to me, that translates into how a lot of people act differently online because it's kind of dehumanizing when you're talking through screens and essentially text messages. And so, like, there's a version of the script where it's just a straightforward game, none of the character exploration. And at some point, I realized it was kind of Truman Show esque how that movie. It's like if you're just watching Truman without any of the behind the scenes
Right.
and stuff. It's like you're just watching him for your amusement the same way everyone in the movie is.
Right.
So I started integrating the behind the scenes stuff. Got to flesh out the characters more, and that kind of led to the idea in its final form. And one
Okay,
thing I was
cool.
yeah, one thing that was actually funny around the time where I was saying this to my friend Michelle, who helped produce this. Squid Game had just come out, so the joke among screenwriters was that every studio was going to be asking for like X meets Squid Game,
All right.
and to me it was funny because it's like, oh, this script is essentially the dating show meets Squid Game.
Right.
So it was just, and it did make it easier to explain to the rest of the crew and cast because everyone was just like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Squid Game. I was just like, yes, that's what it is.
That's great. I love that. It's cool because in the social media exploration, it's sort of like you're taking the hypothetical when people are expressing stuff online. You're saying this could be real. These different personas can link up. Even some of the characters, they have social media presences or, the candid interviews that they didn't know were going to be public comes to bite them in the end. Uh, I'm kind of curious, what was the process like on set working with these people? It seems like the chemistry was good between the actors. How did it feel working on set with this?
Oh, it was fun to work on set. Most of the cast already knew through working with them before, or I also do stand up comedy, so I've met a couple of them through that,
Okay.
and so just that level of familiarity was very helpful to have. Everyone got along well. I think one thing that helped is that there's a segment in the film where some of the contestants, they have pre-recorded segments, so we recorded that before we started shooting, and along with that we had like other interview questions to ask them, and we gave the actors full range to kind of explore that
Oh, cool.
in character. So I just gave them a rough outline of what their characters say, and they ran with it. So I think them being able to explore their characters in that way was just really helpful. Considering we were just constrained for time and didn't get a whole lot of time to rehearse before, and so everyone just being able to be comfortable in their characters when we got on set was just very helpful, and I think it made the entire process a lot smoother.
Totally, and I feel like everyone has such distinct personalities coming through. Even in the short, we can get a sense that even down to their mannerisms, the characters all have something very unique about them. I'm kind of curious in that same vein. Is there any other stuff that you learned from this process?
I would say the biggest thing I learned came more on set and director wise was
Hmm.
just to be adaptable. Because I mean, even uh, yeah, I mean, I purposely wrote it to be mostly one location to try to make it as easy as possible, but problems still come up. Suddenly we had to like shift the shooting schedule. There was a point where we got delayed because certain equipment didn't work, and I'm not going to take credit for this, but I forgot where I heard this quote that like true directing isn't being able to do what you planned out, is being able to just make decisions on the fly, and
No, totally.
yeah, that's where that came out because like throughout shootings, like when I got a chance, it's like I looked over the rest of the shot list with my DP the rest of the production team, and just going through, okay, what do we need, what can we cut, what can be combined or made easier.
Totally.
Yeah, and I believe with that is just a lot of preparation in just knowing what you're going for and what you want.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, having that pre-production work is so helpful. But I feel like it's interesting that you mentioned that adaptability. Even on the highest scale, biggest budget stuff, issues arise, but they have so many people to fall back on. On small independent movies, it's so important to be on your toes and to maneuver with all the stuff that just is inevitably going to happen, or weird things that are going to go wrong. Is there anything particularly that you remember from set, an amusing story or something that you remember like, oh man, this just went so wrong? Or
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing that went wrong was just for first day we got delayed because some equipment we rented wasn't working properly, so we had to figure that out. The second day, that was the day we did stuff that was more of an elaborate setup. So it's like while that took some time, I think people were like having fun with it because that's the part where at some point in the movie we have confetti shootout and it has to like fall on one of the actors, and like figuring that out took multiple tries. I think we had a total of either 6 or 8 confetti cannons.
oh wow,
By the end, we only had 2 or 3 left because it was a lot of figuring out like the best way to shoot the cannons. Like at
oh
some
right,
point at some point we figured out like, oh, we have to shake it up first because it
yeah.
didn't come with instructions. But yeah, it's like we got that worked out, and then after that, it was another sub where it's like we had one of the characters pees himself in the movie, so we set up a whole like tube
Oh
systems,
yeah.
and like that was something where we knew we were only going to get one shot, so so
Right.
we had to make sure everything was perfect before.
Well, I love it. It pays off. I love to think that this guy's sitting under confetti 8 times to get it right.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. No. Sometimes I felt bad for the actors since they just had to be tied up
right.
so much. Yeah. Yeah. And like for the shot where the character pees himself, we just had someone pumping the water behind the curtain, and
Mm,
and we just let that take run for as essentially as long as the actor would let us, and there is a definite point where he breaks, and you could tell he's going, okay, this has to be enough pee right now.
oh, that's hilarious. What else are you working on? Do you have any other projects or any films in the works?
Well, right now I have a pilot I'm shaping up and hoping to shop around and pitch. Takes it's not about superheroes, but it takes place in a superhero world. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm excited about that, and then I'm also developing a narrative podcast. So hopefully that we can I can really get rolling on that soon.
Excellent. Well, it seems like you have some good projects in the works. Is there anything else you'd like to add about America's Dating Game?
I would just like to add it was a lot of fun to shoot, and the entire cast and crew was great to work with.
Excellent. Well, Belton, thank you so much for talking with me. I'm really looking forward to putting this on July 16th at the Oregon Short Film Festival. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'll be happy to see you there.
Excellent. You too.
All right,
Bye.
bye.